That was fun. I got hit so hard that my PC started to lock up. OBS disconnected. Twitch, for some bizarre reason, went to some random channel called Happy Hobbit or something. I don't know. But it escaped the fuck out of my chat for some reason. But I think that's probably a good indication that I probably should escape the Japanese spirits that are haunting chat. So we'll do a little bit more and then we'll call it a night, I guess. So lesson learned: you can play Armored Warfare for long enough for it to completely destroy your computer. What else do I play casually? Not too much. Honestly, don't play many games. I was trying to stream a bit more. I'm trying to stream a bit more because my Patreon money goes down. It's only gone up like one time ever. Like I started out making X amount of money, and it has just been going down by like $100 or so every single month. And where'd the top of it go? The Twitch donation kind of thing has helped a little bit in that respect. And Patreon actually updating its display to actually show the amount of money I actually get rather than the amount of money that people have been donating. Because seeing that someone gets, you know, like $2,000 a month and they're actually only getting like 900 or something, it's kind of a big deal. Well, I don't know where the top of that Gatorade bottle went, but I guess it's lost forever. I play League of Legends sometimes on stream. Actually, just that one time. Something else I need to do in the future. But I tend to not play the same game over and over again. Although I did play Phantom Pain a lot for that little stretch, because Phantom Pain was a lot of fun to just fuck around in. Like roaming around, collecting guys to throw into a back of a truck. That's probably the most fun I've had on stream. And people stuck around a long time watching that nonsense. I think some people were there for hours just watching me collect people and putting them inside of that truck. Amazing! Worked pretty well, too. Now we just do, the League of Legends things. I only play bots. I play bots with some of the viewers. Really? And fucking spawn? Damn it. Hate it when it shows me one and then he runs off behind a building. Like, don't move out of spawn, but you better do it anyways. But playing bots is pretty much the only fun I have in League of Legends. Damn it. Clip the model with a rock. Playing PvP in League is just suffering. It's just asking for suffering. It's too many people that are try-harding that game. That are just obsessed with playing optimally and so forth. And even if you screw off and do one little thing wrong, then it's the end of the world. Everyone will hate you forever. So being able to just dick around with bots is a lot more fun to me. I didn't try to play PvP in League too much. I did briefly play some ranked. And I think I got up to just like Bronze 2 or something before I was done with it. In a weird way, it's like people that are in silver are actually less skilled than some of the people in bronze. And that's just because the people that get stuck in silver tend to be people that are obsessed with trying to climb rank, but they're also not really good enough to get out of silver. Whereas people in bronze might actually be good enough to get out of bronze if they wanted to, but they're not playing ranked at all. And there might be people that are that are actually using an alt account. Oh, the truck. So the skill level of bronze varies quite a lot, whereas silver seems to be more like the kings of shit. And then you kind of get your golds, and I guess at that point it's like, okay, these people are actually halfway decent. Although not all the time. Of course, I'm no expert, since I'm playing against bots anyway, so who cares? Someone gonna get that dude? I briefly tried Witcher 3. It did not want to run on my system. It kept crashing during the little initial scene where you see some girl playing with a stick or training or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. But the game always locked up every single time on that cutscene. No matter what I did to my system, it just would not run past that point. One of the only games that I've ever had. Damn, that's one of the only games I've ever had that will not run. And it's always console games. It's always console games that make their way to PC. So I tried to play it. Didn't want to run. I decided I wasn't going to bother with it, so I just got a refund on it. Well, there he is. Really? Critical track damage. He won't be able to run away quite as good. Oh. There we go. I'll just sit here in the open for a while. He sees me. There's something about him turning around and... Oh, no, that's... Damn! This guy's playing some PvP. That's something an actual player would have done. Fly out of the gate screaming. And collide with me. Oh, I'm so proud of you, AI Chan. No, he's gone. Okay. Jungling exists because of the mechanics of income. Oh, did you spawn and shoot me in the back? You little miserable piece of shit. Oh, and I miss. Wonderful. Damn, I have 22 health points. I'm not going to survive this. Yep. There we go. But the reason why jungling exists is basically to ensure that the person that would be your lane partner would get more experience. Because one of the mechanics is that if you have like a 2 versus 1 in lane, then those two people will actually earn less experience because it's being shared between them. And going jungle basically just enables you to ensure that one more person has that extra carry potential. It's a way of min-maxing the amount of experience and gold that's distributed across all of your team. To answer your question, and also because the way that a jungler operates in terms of ambushing other lanes is needed in terms of how you actually play the game effectively. The problem with fighting games being too difficult to get in casually is just because of it's basically like learning how to type. Just that the expectations of, like, if you one of my problems is that whenever I get into a game, usually if I decide that I want to be competitive in that game, the first thing I go to is what the upper level is, because that's what I'm aiming at, right? But of course, the upper level in a fighting game is going to be doing something like an infinite string combo, where you're throwing people off the wall and catching them in midair, and using all these various moves in conjunction with one another that require very specific frame timing, or else even if you do the move, it doesn't really work in terms of the way the hitbox detection is interacting with each other, and so on and so forth. And of course, I mean, that's like this high level that most people aren't supposed to even be able to approach, right? But since this is what I'm aiming at, of course, that's the first thing I try to practice. And since fighting games, you're not supposed to be able to do that, it's just that the upper level people that have been doing it for years and years are supposed to be the ones that are doing it. Of course, I'm like, well, I'm not just gonna learn how to do one fucking fireball and have that be my repertoire. I'm going to want to learn everything. So it's kind of in that respect. You know, you can't aim for the top in a fighting game. The way that you learn fighting games is basically... Huh, did something change? Crosshair changed some. Strange. But the way that fighting games are kind of meant to be played is that you kind of... Damn! Fucking connection. You're supposed to learn kind of just a small list of moves that you can perform on, you know, like one character, and then you just kind of slowly creep up from that. But since the game is so... Come on. Whoa, that was weird. But since the game is so tuned into the idea, like, to be able to counter someone doing this, you have to do this move. And to be able to counter someone doing this, you need to do this move. That you have to know those moves, or else you just can't do anything. Like, if one of their moves isn't... It depends on the game, but, like, if a character has to do something like an anti-air to be able to counter someone that's doing the same move to you over and over again, and that's the only way of kind of countering it. If you don't know how to do that move, then you just can't do it. And sometimes you can even know how to do the move, but you just can't perform the input particularly well, so you fail it half the time. It's things like that. Like, you can learn how to do something, but you can actually fail it a good percentage of the time. And to me, that's just not any fun. That's what makes it unapproachable to me. Not that it's too difficult, but just that the basic mechanics that are necessary for even playing the game at a fundamental level are obfuscated enough that it makes it not fun to play. Ugh. Get... I bet it'd be fun if everyone was driving this vehicle that I'm driving. I don't even know what it's called. Haven't been paying attention. I'm not much of an expert on modern tanks and AMVs or whatever. But yeah, fighting games not the kind of genre for me because of that reason. I don't feel like learning how to type all over again. And it's the only genre that's really like that. Come on. Come on, zoom in. God, resolve. Thing takes forever to regain its accuracy after driving. I can't really think of another genre that's sort of like that. Where it has such an extreme high demand for mechanical accuracy like that. I mean, there's a few things that are kind of similar, I guess.
Clear out the defenders and capture the area. Identify. Hostile tank.
Ow. I'm gonna hide behind you. Shh, don't tell him, though. Don't tell him, Chad. I'm using him for his body. Will you load already? Jesus Christ. Kid, could you get the fuck out of the way? I'm gonna shoot you in the back of the head if you do that again. rolls out from behind his cover and then just sits there in front of my gun. It's not like he can't see me. Like, I'm right here. Yeah, RTS is kind of like that. RTS is not quite as bad because a lot of RTS is just dragging a giant rectangular cursor across. Like, an RTS is not so much about the mechanical inputs, so much as it's about knowing the pacing of the game. Like, how long it takes to build this unit, and how long it will take for the opposing player to be able to build this series of counter units, and whether he's going to, and how long it takes for those units to get across the map, and things like that. The mechanical stuff is there, but it's not anywhere near as bad as a fighting game. It depends on the game. Like, especially if it's like StarCraft or something, then a lot of it is just drag a big rectangle around a bunch of shitty units, and then chuck them all into this one area and don't even worry about it, because they don't really have many unique skills to worry about. They're just kind of there to be fodder because you're just trying to interrupt their build cycle or whatever it is. But I don't like RTSs either way. Like, I do not play RTSs competitively for that reason. I have no interest whatsoever in ever playing an RTS like that. To me, that is just miserable. I don't know why anyone would even bother with it. So I guess for that same reason, they're kind of comparable. They're not exactly the same thing, but kind of close. But for that same reason, wouldn't play it. Would not. Rising Thunder is definitely approachable for new players, although I was telling Wooly this, I don't know if he understood exactly what I meant on the podcast. The idea that it's obviously fighting game light. Like, it's not a new genre. Like, I was expecting with Rising Thunder for it to be more like, we're going to replace the mechanical obfuscation with, like, new elements. Like, more like a MOBA in a way. Not playing like a MOBA, but you know how MOBAs have... It's more of a focus on using meters and using, not like BlazBlue levels, but, you know, managing resources, knowing what the other person's timer is like, having more of a focus on placement and things like that. And it's kind of there, but it's more, it's obvious that it's a fighting game, that they're just kind of like, this will get them into real fighting games. And Rising Thunder is this kind of fighting game light in that way. Did I meant for it to be AP? Huh. That isn't scaling correctly. What the hell happened here? Did I get some sort of upgrade? Huh. That's really strange. Does retrofit. And this retrofit slot. I don't remember what you're playing. Okay, we'll roll with this. Whew, goodness, this is getting expensive. Well, still needed, I guess. Haven't had many money problems in this game so far. I like Civ games, but Civ games are obviously turn-based, and obviously have no mechanical problems whatsoever to really speak of. Although Civ games also do have sort of that problem of knowing exactly what the pacing... It does have some overlap with the RTSs in that respect, and that you sort of have to know exactly what build order the other player is going to be going for, and what the exact Excel spreadsheet level of progression that you need in order to hit a wonder at a certain point or whatever it is. So it's kind of like that in that respect. Killer Instinct is nice in new players? Are you crazy? Killer Instinct is supposed to be the one that's obsessed with combos, isn't it? Tell you, I had a I had a quote unquote fun time trying to learn how the combo in Skullgirls. Apparently later I learned, yeah, you probably shouldn't be doing that. Not in Skullgirls, anyways. Is there anything that's hyper competitive but not in that way? There's something that I actually wanted to bring up on the podcast whenever I was on there, but we just did not have time, and I didn't feel like it was going to really mesh with what we were talking about. But I wanted to point out that one of the reasons... I should have adjusted that. Yeah, I can't do it. I wanted to point out that one of the things that's kind of key in making a game competitive is that restriction. Like, there does need to be a high degree of like, there does need to be a high skill cap, and there does need to be a very large bell curve when it comes to actually learning the game. I think that's very important in regards to making something into either an esport or just a competitive game in general. It does actually need that. And that's kind of where fighting games get that mechanical problem, because you actually need that for that genre. You have to have that, or else the game is like, the game kind of has a problem that Rising Thunder has, in that it's very kind of stupefied, and there's just not a lot going on. So once you learn it, you know, it has depth, but it's kind of thin, because there's just not a whole lot going on.
There's no time to lose. The NPAA shot down
Ooh, that
one
was
of our
weird.
choppers, and they're closing in on them. There's critical intel in there that we need. Get over there and secure that first.
So, like if you take like League of Legends, for example. League of Legends is not very... What are you doing stopping in the road? League of Legends is not really... It's obviously a competitive game. It is not very mechanically dominated. Like, there is some degree of mechanical finesse that expert players have over other players. Probably a common example is, what's his name? Lee Sin, I think. Because his mechanics are like, he can place a ward and jump to that ward. So you have to do a couple weird things. Oh, you can shoot multiple missiles at the same time? That's pretty neat. Wonder what that little thing he's using is. So there is that kind of mechanical separation, but with League, it's more a matter of knowing exactly... It has more of that sort of RTS logic that I was talking about earlier, where you have to know exactly what people can build, why they would build it, when they would build it, where exactly they're going to be in regards to the timer because of how fast their character moves, and, you know, stuff like that. The main thing that separates really excellent players in League from kind of average ones is kind of your ability to adapt to anything that's happening around you, and to be able to create the pace so that you can snowball on people. That's kind of how League works. It's not really mechanical in that way, but it does have enough of a separation between high skill levels and low skill levels and mid skill levels that it makes the game competitive, because it is kind of difficult to get into. It took me a month before I was really comfortable in League in any way. Like, I still wasn't good at it, but it took me a while just to get comfortable with it. So games kind of need that in order to be competitive. Like, you can take there's plenty of multiplayer games that exist, but they're not really competitive. You can play them, but they would never be an esport, because they just do not have the depth required. And they don't have the separation of skill levels that are required. So I do think it is necessary for something that needs to be fairly competitive. Like, World of Tanks has, I think now they tried to push the esports angle with that. And it does kind of have that. And I played on a, I guess, world competitive level on that for a while. Kind of lost interest in it. And I actually really enjoyed that. And it is obvious there is a distinction between good players in World of Tanks and really excellent ones. Like whenever you get recruited in World of Tanks, what the first thing that they're going to look at is you're going to be your win record. And a lot of players, like the top level players, have like win records of like 80-something% or something. But they mainly have those because they do nothing but play in platoons. Like they only play with other really skilled players. And doing that is going to make sure that you win most of your games, especially if you're only doing organized matches or something. Because playing together with other skilled players goes a whole long way. And even in my personal experience, like I played nothing but pub matches for a long time. But then I like became friends with this other guy who was recruiting, who had himself like a really good win record, like he was in the high 50s, like I was. And I started playing with him and the people that he played with. And I realized over time, wow, there's a huge difference between playing with a good player and playing with a normal random guy. Because playing with the more skilled player that you work with, it makes you that much better. Like, there were things that I could do, like if I was using like a medium tank or something, I could I could fight like 5 other people at the same time, depending on what the matchups were. Just because I knew that I didn't have anything to worry about on other lanes, because the people that I were playing with were so good that I had good support for it. So it compiles together. I can't even remember what point I was trying to make with this, but just that. The variance in skill level in World of Tanks. Even that game, you know, just knowing the maps, knowing the matchups, knowing exactly how to do something, when to be in a certain place, and so on, goes a long way to establishing a competitive edge. Barely got him. Yeah, we lost a couple guys, didn't we? I probably should be more careful. Had to play this slightly. There we go. What the hell? What hit me? Things are spawning behind me. Shit. Ugh, damn it. One thing I don't like about PvE, it's unfair because you can't really take territory because things keep appearing behind you. One of the weird bugs in this game is that you kind of lose sound sometimes. Damn. I'm gonna have to hug the corner, make sure nothing's coming up behind me. He's coming around this way. There we go. Ah, shit, he's running right through. Damn it. My mouse hit my Cintiq when I was trying to aim. It caused me the misfire. Okay, gotta make sure that this T-32 doesn't come up behind me, wherever it is exactly. Well, if we were playing World of Tanks, there's lots of little bitty things that people do wrong all the time that I could probably show you. Since we're just doing PvE, and this is kind of nonsensical, and plus we're not playing PvP, so I can't really show you guys anything. Plus this is a different game, so. Although I shouldn't be popping out like this. Like, I don't have enough armor to be able to resist anything, and I don't really have enough health to be resisting anything. But I kind of have to play recklessly in this case, because there's no other options. Yeah. Oh, crap. They keep spawning all around me. Need to get this one off the field. That's one of the things people complain about in these tank games, no matter what it is why are they shooting me instead of the big tanks? And the answer is, it's too important to get guns off the field in these games. Like, you absolutely need to make sure that anything that can damage you is eliminated as quickly as possible. It doesn't matter if it's the biggest threat. If it can do damage to you, then it needs to die. And usually the small tanks are usually the first ones to go because of that reason. Ooh, I bounced something. Ooh. Oh, shit. Oh, damn it. I'm completely out of ammo. Oh, that's not good. It's really not good. I hope my friend has ammo, because I certainly don't. I can ram people. Here, I'll tell him. Out of ammo. Willow! Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, Jiminy Cricket. Okay, I'm gone. Oh, well. I never learned to play Chinese Go. It never made a lot of sense to me, but I never really gave it much of an effort, I guess. But as far as fighting games that I've tried Street Fighter, tried Mortal Kombat, tried King of Fighters, tried Skullgirls, tried Rising Thunder, obviously. A few more of them I can't remember. Just never got into any of them. Because all of them are pretty much exactly the same in that regard of mechanics driving everything. Or physical mechanics driving everything. We'll play one more of these and this little doodad. And we'll call it a night, I guess. Before my computer collapses in on itself again. That'll give you guys time if you've been waiting around for Two Best Friends videos to pop up. I'm sure one of them's popped up by now. It actually did cause me the misfire, because my Cintiq is right in front of my main monitor, right? And my mouse is actually sitting next to it. Like, I'm actually having to reach around my microphone just to be able to grab my mouse. And I was trying to move left, but I don't have that much room. Like, you can hear my hand slamming into my Cintiq right now. So if you need to move it further past that, you have to stop, lift your hand, go back and, you know. I guess you can get into the Budokai series pretty easily. I don't know how much depth that has in terms of PvP, though. Balance is also important in PvP game as far as establishing any sort of esport mentality behind it. If it's not balanced, it's not going to do anything for you. Operation Snake Bites. It's pretty... I really like Smash. The idea of Smash, anyways. I don't know about the more recent ones. Like the wave dashing thing, I would never... Like, that's too far for me. It's funny to me that Smash became competitive, but no one used, like, B abilities. Everything was just basic attacks. I always found that kind of funny. And they lamented that they changed it. It's like, you didn't even use... you didn't use half the features in the game because of that. Like, why do you lament not having them? But, I did like the idea of Smash because it's easy to get into. Like, you know, this button attacks, hitting up plus this button will give you something, down plus this button will give you something, and that's pretty much it. I didn't really care, like, I understand why it's there, but I didn't really care too much for the, you have to knock them out of the ring sort of approach to combat. I do kind of prefer health points. It would have to be a drastically different kind of genre, but Smash is very easy to get into. I like that about it. It doesn't have those mechanical problems that ordinary fighting games have. Always appreciated that about it. Could it be better as a competitive fighting game? Obviously, but you know they want to make a party game, and they definitely tried to force that. They did not seem to like that people were playing it competitively, and then demanding that it be treated as such. Come on, buddy. There we go. I love firing through shit like that. Ooh, ugh. That's disorienting. Yeah, the only reason why I really care about fighting games at all is just because a lot of the times I just like the character designs and stuff like that. That's kind of what attracts me, but the gameplay repels me. Just have no tolerance for it. In order to do this move, you have to hit forward and then backwards and then down, but you can't hit the diagonals or it won't count. And that's how you do this basic move that you use to counter something else. And I'm like, you could put that on a button. You don't need to do that. No, it needs to be that way. And it's funny if you go back to like Mortal Kombat, like the original Mortal Kombats or like Street Fighters, where there are almost no special moves at all, and especially the Mortal Kombat series, there were just stupid things like down, down, and a button does something. And that's all it was. It wasn't complicated at all. Because I think they were just trying to find a way of fitting it into a limited space. The games kind of over time became a little bit more convoluted in that way. Of course, again, I'm no expert on fighting games. I'm sure people that play them all the time in chat get so angry at me ridiculing them that way. No, because that's how people that disagree with me sound. Yes. Whoa! Hello there, new spawns. Yeah, let's get to cover. Let's get to cover. Right here. Hello, hello, you beautiful down chopper, you. Asshole? This is an AI, obviously. But I will say that in World of Tanks, one of the things that always piss me off are the over-aggressive people that don't care, they don't want to play, like they're inside of a scout or something, or a tank that they deem not worth their time. So they want to roll over a hill and take 1,000,000 damage just for the chance of either killing you or just at least inconveniencing you with some minor damage that you didn't need to take. Whoa, that was weird. Fired into the model and it didn't collide correctly. People like that always got on my nerves. Because they're kind of disregarding common sense just because they don't feel like being there.
We will send someone to recover the stolen supplies. Good work.
Come on up the... There you go. Aw, critical track damage. Boo! Boo! I don't like it. Whoa, I don't like that either. Dive kick does sort of restrict that. Like, dive kick is a good idea. Dive kick is a good idea because it's easy to perform your actions. There's not many of them, and it's kind of more Yomi and spacing. Like, there's elements to fighting games and, like, ignoring the, come on already. Ignoring the mechanical things. The elements of a fighting game are usually going to be your ability to outthink your opponent, like you know exactly what they're going to do, and you can trick them into doing things. Yeah. And your ability to space out what you're doing, like to control the physical space between you and your opponent. And dive kick successfully gets rid of the mechanical problem. So it's just those two elements, rather than the three. Arcade shooters. I have no idea. Yay, we beat the AI enemies. maybe next time I'll try PvP. I'm gonna try to play this enough that I can get a better understanding of... Like, I wanted to get up into the mid-tiers. Because kind of the problem with these early ones... Dealer list. It seems like a problem with these early ones is the line. Like, usually they try to reinforce the logic that there's an idea behind the lines. Like I'm going down the Leopard path rather than the Abrams path, because as you can see here, with the M1A2 Abrams, like hull armor 320. Like these are the heavy lines. These are the main battle tanks. This is the kind of their version of heavies in this game, because it's a more modern game. So it has 320 hull armor, and I remember being able to see its turret armor somewhere, but I don't know where it is now. Oh, okay, here it is. Okay, 410 turret armor. I wasn't looking correctly. And the side armor and the rear armor are not quite as important. It's kind of nice side armor for the turret, though. But like if you're playing a hull down heavy roll, then you know I'm looking at this more than the damage necessarily. So 410 forward turret armor. Whereas with the Leo, you have 730 forward hull armor. Although the turret composition is composite rather than depleted, so I'm not sure if that's going to make a huge difference or not. I don't know what the numbers are like. But my idea is that, well, if I'm going to be playing a heavy, then I want to focus on playing that hull down, focus on armor line. But anyways, I'm kind of assuming like this version of this line, like we're going down the Leopard line, Leopard variants, and we haven't quite gotten to them yet. The reason why I haven't gotten into PvP yet is because like this one, you can tell its whole armor is non-existent. Its turret armor is pretty much non-existent. Like most things that even at this tier that are shooting at me can probably pierce this. So kind of just, to me, these early things, using them in PvP, kind of pointless. So I'm using PvE to just grind through all of these until I get to like tier 5 or tier 6. And at that point, I think they probably should be defined enough. Turret 40. Oh, that's even worse. Wait, what are the benefits of this then? Max speed. I guess this. No, the speed is kind of the same. What is damage per minute? What the hell's going on here? 3,265. It's less. Its penetration goes up by like 40, but that's it. Health points are almost the same. Doesn't really matter. That's a made-up stat. Armor is worse. What the hell is this then? So I guess I'll have to grind through this too. I don't know. To be able to get to the turn armor 3. Okay, 300. That's a little bit better, but it's still not really defined. I don't know. Maybe the last one is the exception. Like this one suddenly gets a massive amount of turret armor, and this one's only 426. So maybe they want to play these to play sort of like old German Tiger series or something, where they want you to sit back and snipe. I don't know. But anyways, you guys get the idea. I'll play one more, I guess. We'll crap another one of these out, and then we'll be done for the night. Easy contract. She's easy lover. Da, 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 da. Did I draw what? Yeah, I drew that a while back. I think it's on my Tumblr somewhere. That stupid picture. I enjoy that people repost that so often, too. People always seem to get a kick out of it. Oh, wait, shit. I forgot. Leave Q. Stop. My ammo is what fucked me up last time. I need to remember this. What's the penetration value on this? 242. Okay, so damage 256. So this is way better in every way. And for some reason it lowered the amount of ammo that I was buying. I don't know why. And the high explosive is not really necessary. I haven't really encountered anything that I can't penetrate. In World of Tanks, this comes up all the time. You'll get slotted against things that you just can't damage. Even if you wheel up right behind... Like I was... Before I quit again, I had some match where I was playing in a scout. I think it was a T-71. And I got behind something or other. It was one of the new tanks I don't recognize. I think it might have been a German tank. And I was firing right into its ass. Like, another guy was face-fucking it. It was at the end of the match. And we were, like, one of the only people left alive. And he was just ramming this guy, trying to occupy all of his attention. And I was using this autoloader and just firing rounds at this guy's ass in his weakest part of his plate over and over again, and I just could not get through it. Like, ever so often, one of them would, because of the randomization. But, you know, it was just next to completely pointless. And in that case, they would want you to use high explosive ammo. But at some point in World of Tanks, they fucked up the way that damage is calculated. So, if you hit someone with HE in World of Tanks, it does, like, no damage. Like, it doesn't matter. Unless it penetrates their armor, it does nothing. It's useless. HE is almost completely useless. It's really, its only function is to finish off people that are walking around with, like, 30 health. And you're in a tank that either you don't want to waste a real piece of ammo with, or you're in a lighter tank that can't penetrate its armor, and you hit them like 5 times in a row with HE, and then that will kill them. That's a really stupid system. They have no fucking clue what they're doing. Whereas in this game, HE is actually pretty effective. It's just that if you can penetrate armor, then it's way better. I didn't really care too much for David Bowie, actually. Just because he's dead, I'm not going to start sucking his dick like some people do. Like, he wasn't bad. I'm not going to criticize him. I just didn't particularly care for him, I guess. Metal Gear sure loved the fuck out of him, though.
There are also some missile launchers located in the area. It would be good to destroy the cartel's dangerous toys.
Whoop. Fun fact about that song, that she's an easy lover thing. It was originally supposed to be she's a choosy lover. But let's see, was it Rod Stewart and I can't remember, but whoever he co-sung that song with suggested using easy instead of choosy, and it stuck. Why do I know that? I don't fucking know. I have weird information in my head. I think it was because I heard it on the radio, and I thought it was funny because I started saying she's a cheesy lover because it sounded kind of similar to me, and I was imagining like a big woman made of cheese, and they're just like eating her, and she's like, "No, stop! I'm so delicious." I don't know. I got some weird stuff going on, man. She's a cheesy lover, top of bell peppers and pepperoni.
Across the river and up the hill. Still a lot of enemy activity in the area. Be cautious.
Hello there, Mr. Scorpion. I see you. This is a very accurate gun, though. It seems pretty obvious that they want you to play this as a sniper, and the fact that it's a heavy it's not really heavy. It's just a support vehicle. It's a long-range sniper is what this thing is. So that's probably how the other ones are going to play for quite a while before I get that final one, which is really disappointing. Maybe I should stop and just go down the Abrams line. I just don't know enough about the game yet to really evaluate how effective the various tanks are going to be. Philip Bailey. No wonder I didn't remember that name. Did I say Rod Stewart? I probably did. Stop. I think not. Oh, I do miss... The one thing I miss from World of Tanks is the fact that armor works in World of Tanks. Like, I can shoot anything in this game almost anywhere and it's gonna go through. It just does not matter. It's more about whether or not you can see someone. And since camo values don't really work either, I don't know, just... I'll have to see. Like, look at that, I'm not even having to aim. Like, in World of Tanks, you have to aim the fuck out of your shots, or just nothing is going to go through. Like, you need that lower glacis shot, or else it's just nothing. Like, I don't like... That's the reason why I use the zoom feature in World of Tanks so much. So if I have a criticism of this game so far, it would be that. Like, ever so often something will bounce, but it's kind of almost random. And maybe it's because I'm being slotted against AI opponents. I really don't know. Ooh, goodness. But just not really having much of an issue with... And I miss that not because I want my shots to not do damage, but it's just an extra layer that I would expect from a tank game that just does not seem to really exist in this one. And I'm missing that, unfortunately. But hopefully that will improve as the tiers go up. I'm hoping. Because if it doesn't, I might have to go back to World of Tanks. Because that's primarily why I play those games.
Amazing.
I like the fact that it rewards aiming well and making good decisions and knowing exactly where to shoot tanks and so forth. When you can just shoot wherever, then it just turns into an arcade game. There's no challenge. I mean, there's a challenge, but it's just not really overly effective or rewarding. Oh yeah, new players kind of have a bit of a problem in World of Tanks. Although with World of Tanks, the early tiers are so completely outlandishly unbalanced that it almost doesn't matter. Because sometimes I would get into a fight with someone that obviously has no clue what they were doing, but they're in like a Panzer III or something, and I'm in some little piece of crap new nation line tank that has no penetration value at all, and I just can't do anything to them, and they sit there with their ass facing me because they don't understand anything about penetration mechanics, and I'm firing directly into their engine block, and nothing is happening at all. So anyways, okay, I guess I'll end it here, and we'll all go watch shit on YouTube for the rest of the night, or I continue what I was doing earlier and watch more of that Naruto Kai or whatever it is that I was doing, which is still kind of terrible, but it's almost amusing in a weird way. Okay, guys. No, I'm not going to be doing Picardo right. I might do Picardo later. I don't know. I never really know. But for the time being, I need to get something to eat, and I probably have a couple of chores to take care of. I finally got my tax information done for this quarter. I still have to do the annual version of it, but that's like 2 months from now. Oh, I hate worrying about taxes. Okay. Thank you guys for coming by. Thanks for lasting it out, even through the game completely demolishing me and locking up my computer. I will host and redirect you to, yes, Bitterbits. Okay, they're up right now. So you guys go raid Bitterbutts. Go give them warm welcomes, and I will, I guess, host them for funsies. And you guys can stay here if you want. Okay, everyone. Bye-bye. She's a cheesy lover. Top her with cheese and some other fluids. I'll do your Patreon sketch later.